Nice day, huh?
Love the smell of getting back into the harness.
Anything I can do for you?
Exploration still lives as long as the lodge is still standing.
Captain, I believe your ship will perform more efficiently. Do you have a new set of orders for me today? I will go wherever I am needed. My return to the lodge triggered a full system update. I am now fully prepared to assist you.
I don't get it. How am I supposed to assign Vasco? I thought maybe because I had too many people, but...
Farewell. How can I be of service, Captain? Hello, Captain.
Hello. Is mining on the schedule today?
So, Miss stay up late reading under the covers?
I suppose that wouldn't kill me.
Book last night?
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the
No,
stars
I
to
don't.
navigate.
I only ask as many questions as I need
But
to get
I
my
guess it
job
only
done.
worked because they just lived on
I had no
one
idea it was
And
dangerous.
that sounds boring.
Remind me one of these days to tell you the tale of a certain Solomon Co. and where his stargazing landed him.
We won't get anything done just standing here staring into space. Don't hold grudges, Dusty. I sent you to do the job I was paying you for. Running into strange things underground is an occupational hazard for miners. I never considered anything else. My parents were miners too. I've been learning the trade since I was old enough to dig. The longest I've spent above ground was the 1.5 years I served in the UC military during the Colony War. That was more than enough for me. I prefer to keep my boots full of dust and my pockets full of credits. Less trouble that way. What about it? I did. I know I don't seem like the military type. Like most people, I was less practical when I was young. I was a drill sergeant. You don't seem surprised. I have a firm hand and a knack for getting the best out of people. The UC saw that and put me in charge of training new recruits for combat. I was talked into it. Someone I loved felt called to serve, and he asked me to join him. Only one of us walked away from the war, though. I was only in the military for 1.5 years. I spent the rest of the war underground, mining materials for the UC to turn into ships and bullets. Well, I lost someone dear to me in the war. I'm as strict as I need to be to make sure my workers' families don't have to go through that too. Mining can be as dangerous as combat, you know. There's a good reason why I've held on to old habits. It was my husband, the love of my life. He was killed just a month before the armistice. No, we didn't. I was stationed at a recruiting center on Jemison, and he served on the front lines. He was a crewman aboard one of the UC's largest ships. He used to tease me about how much more exciting his service was than mine. He always hated being stuck in cities for too long. The transport vessel he was aboard was shot down by the Freestar Collective. Hundreds of lives lost. That's the cost of peace. My husband was proud to serve the UC. He served honorably, and I'm proud of him for it. I only wish I'd gotten to say goodbye. Thank you. It was never quite the same after he died. Sure. His name was Manuel. He was a miner, like me. We were stationed at the same outpost for a few years, and we had the same supervisor. He was a better man than most. Honest, kind-hearted, and even-tempered. I've never felt more at peace than I did when I was with him. Losing him was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Damn colony war. "5 years. Then we were married for most of it. I knew he was right for me after our first conversation. And I'm not the type to waste time. I can still remember the look on his face when I asked him to marry me. Do I seem like the motherly type, Dusty? No. We never had children of our own. Manuel has a daughter named Miranda, but she was already a teenager when we got married. She lives in New Homestead with her family. We aren't very close, but I try to see her every time I pass through the Sol system. Heartbreaking doesn't even begin to describe it. Manuel was absolutely everything to me. Losing him shook me to my core. I've never been the same. Manuel was my greatest joy. When he died, he took most of my happiness with him. I couldn't handle the heartbreak, so I threw myself into work. I barely looked up from Akila for years after that. I figured if I kept my head down and my workers safe, that eventually I'd get over the loss. But it's like I said, time doesn't heal everything. I believe I was only ever meant to love one person. I still hate waking up without him. I was with the other officers at my base when a report came through about one of our ships being destroyed. I recognized its name from Manuel's messages. It took a few days before the casualty reports started coming through. By the time one of the officers came to console me, I already knew he was gone. Space battles don't tend to leave many survivors. I don't think so either. I don't know if distracting myself instead of finding a way to move on was the right choice. That's the trouble with aging. The more of it you do, the more foolish your younger self looks. If it is time to move on, then leaving Argos was a good first step. I don't have as much to worry about out here. What is it? It was good to see you.
Dad, can I have a pet?
A pet? We live on a starship, Cora. Pets and starships don't always mix so well.
Aw, come on, please. I need somebody to talk to while I'm on the ship by myself.
Give him an inch. We'll see, come down. Mighty hero awakens. Let's go. Landing on new planets like this never gets old.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks. And they like to use old abandoned facilities as outposts. You know, the ones left over from the colony war?
And you're breathing? Back to normal yet?
Mostly. Still feels a little weird, though. Guess I'm not used to having the tube out. But it's nothing that would keep me from getting back out there.
You need to give it more time, Helga.
Guess that means you won't be telling the Marshal that I'm approved for field duty.
Not yet. There could still be a setback, and I need to be close at hand if that happens.
Fine, fine. But you should know that I'm crawling the walls in here.
You just take it easy. Shouldn't be long now.
Well, hey, hiya. Got into a tussle with a Shaw Gang smuggling ship in Kodos orbit. Had to limp back to Akila City, with my ride mostly in one piece. It was a bit of a hard landing, you might say. Got a few broken ribs and a concussion. Turns out one of those ribs punctured a lung. Had a breathing tube in for a spell, but that's gone now. Seems I'm healing up pretty good. Last I saw, it was on fire and doing a swan dive into the Kodos sky. Luck's half of everything. Or so they say. I also like to think skill had a little something to do with it. Right now, not much of anything. Doc says I need a rest. Meanwhile, I've been trying to make myself useful, reading dispatches and reports and such. That way, when I'm cleared for field duty, I'll know the lay of the land.
You're probably looking for Mary. The doctor can provide any supplies you might need.
Well, nobody ever accused them.
Good to see you.
You get in a scrape, best come see me after. You seen those ashta outside the walls? They keep me in business, if you take my meaning. Overall, not too bad. People keep me hopping all the time. Mainly it's minor scruffs, bruises, the occasional broken arm. The real work is when someone gets attacked by an ashta. Those are the bad times. I got a feeling this ain't the last I'll see of you.
Just waiting around.
Need something? You got some business with me? That's so. Well, you found your way to the right person. Well, the Freestar Rangers ensure the safety and security of the Freestar Collective and its people. We might hunt down a fugitive, break up a smuggling operation, investigate a starship theft, or put some would-be bank robbers behind bars. Whatever needs doing to keep the people safe, we do. Sure, but we Rangers work across the whole of Freestar Collective space. It can be, yeah. We tend to get called in when there's a threat too big for local security to handle. So that means we hunt the most dangerous game. I imagine you've got some questions. I'll answer anything I can. The number's always changing due to retirements, recruiting, and unfortunately, death in the line of duty. But as far as I know, there's never been more than a dozen Rangers at any one time. Well, in theory, a Freestar Ranger can go anywhere in Freestar Collective space, even private property. But of course, it doesn't always work out that way. We also have jurisdiction over any local security when we're tracking a fugitive. I'll say right up front that if you're looking to get rich, this ain't the line of work for you. But yeah, we do get paid from time to time to help with expenses and such. Okay then. A word about myself. I'm in charge of making sure anyone that wants to be a Freestar Ranger is up to the task. That being said, the Marshal wouldn't send you here if he didn't think you had potential. So, what's it gonna be? Are you ready to sign up with the Freestar Rangers? I prefer a more practical kind of evaluation. I'll give you the details if you want to join up.
Might be a good fit for you. The Rangers can do a lot of good.
Before I hand you a badge, I need to know you can handle the job. You helped out with the hostage situation, but sometimes people just get lucky. Tell you what, use the mission terminal and take one of the listed jobs. Your choice. Come back alive, and we'll talk about you joining up. This is a dangerous line of work, and I'm not putting someone in the field unless I'm sure they're ready. Oh, got no lack of confidence, have you? Well, let's see if you back it up.
The mayor's all right. Always painting too rosy a picture, though. A year or two back, I shared a drink with Ron Ho. That man can drink.
To talk, actually. Well, to apologize, more like.
Sorry, but I've got work.
Hopefully, you're not so close.
Akila City's really the heart of this son of a...
warn them about the Ashta? We got a big old sign. Danger. If they open up the gate and go out there, it's on their own head. But if they're far afield, they got no idea what they're in for. You want to warn them? You know I don't like talking to strangers. Then you chose a hell of a profession. Can't help.
I heard Mr. Wright's gonna be looking for an apprentice soon.
Disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied.
Annie Wilcox. You're new in town, aren't you? That means I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Nice try. But when I don't want to be seen, I'm like an Ashta in the night. Is it? Or are you just saying that? See, I work for the Freestar Rangers. I'm the first ever Ranger Surveillance Assistant. And that's not some dumb made-up title. Ranger Emma Wilcox gave it to me. So it's official. I watch people and listen to them. If I hear something about smuggling or Aurora or gangs, I tell the Rangers. It's easy, because no one pays attention to kids. Plus, I know a lot of good hiding places all over the city. That's right. She's a senior ranger, which means she's in charge of me and all the other rangers. Well, except Diego, because he's a senior ranger too. Oh, and the marshal. He's in charge of all the rangers. I'm the best ranger surveillance assistant that ever lived. Someday, I'll teach other kids the tricks of the trade. Gotta prepare the next generation, because I won't be here forever. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna be a law-abiding citizen? Or are you gonna be on my list? My list of people who might be troublemakers, so I have to watch them extra close. You don't want to be on my list. I had a feeling you'd say that. It's that look in your eye that says, I don't care about the law. Well, if I was you, I'd watch my step around here. Because this Akila City is under the protection of the Freestar Rangers. Ain't no lawbreaker who can get away from them. Once the Rangers are after you, you're as good as got. Don't say you ain't been warned. Akila City is just crawling with crime. It's everywhere. And it's up to us Rangers to do something about it.
And Ranger surveillance assistants.
Someone's stealing guns and stuff from Laredo Arms.
And none of the adults believe us.
So we're because they're dumb. I gave security a whole list of crimes and leads, and they barely pay attention anymore. I'm practically doing their job for them. Emily was right about you. I was doing my ranger patrol one night, and there was a suspicious character casing Laredo Arms. I watched him as long as I could, but I had to rush home for bedtime. First thing in the morning, I came back and interrogated Justin Sneed. And he said they were tracking down an inventory discrepancy. I told him about the suspicious stranger, but Mr. Sneed didn't believe me. I couldn't prove anything, but the suspect was acting all sorts of funny. He was trying to make sure no one could see him. My mom says you have to listen to your gut in this business. I just know he's a thief. Exactly! This case was too big for just one ranger, so I deputized Emily.
I'm an assistant ranger surveillance assistant.
Or, something like that. And we found out that the thief breaks in most nights, like, really late. He's got his own key card. We just need to catch him. Security will believe you. We did all the things. Crime scene investigated. Witnesses interviewed. And suspect tailed.
You did all that. Akila City Security's got competition. Oh, please don't tell Cora. She's, handful enough without getting more ambitious ideas.
I followed the suspect all day. He had no idea.
Emily caught him opening the side door one night. That's when we knew for sure we have an actual criminal here. You're doing Akila City a big service. Best I figure he's there around midnight. You need to wait for him to exit Laredo, then catch him red-handed. We need to bring him to justice.
The suspect has been at Laredo everywhere. I've seen it myself.
Hi, how you doing?
appreciate an expedited customs treatment.
Why won't anyone believe me?
I'm not sure if we can manage.
Double rate.
Listen, I'm no use to anyone if I'm... you know.
Triple.
Damn it. All right, I'll make it happen. If I get called on one more drunk
Kind of booked up
disorderly-
right now. Sorry.
IntelliWheat is revolutionary. Why waste time with brewing when you can do so much good and make so many more credits? If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere, either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Dear me, no, Weston's a fine man. If anything, that's why I want more from him. He could do even greater things, if only he could see that. I'm not some stuck-up teetotaler. My problem with the business is more nuanced. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest in growing the company, and now all he wants to do is brew beer. Filburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food, not just Akila City. Seems those two are content to think small. Well, I wish you were the one I had to convince. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? Patience. And try to come between Weston and his brother? They'd never allow it. Oh, I've tried to drop hints and make suggestions, but it all falls on deaf ears. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, of course. The company's healthy, and Weston and I live well enough. I'd like to help, you know? I'd like to be a part of things instead of feeling like I'm playing second fiddle. I suppose I should just accept my lot and try to find peace with it. Well, no, not as such. I mean, the business is doing just fine, but it could be doing even better. Those knuckleheads have so much God-given talent, and I just wish they used it better. Well, there is. The stakes are huge. With further R&D on IntelliWheat, the entire settled systems could benefit. Surely that's worth some less than savory solutions. Right now, it's tailored to Akila's biomes, allowing wheat to flourish in places it normally couldn't. But if Henry applied himself, who knows where else we could grow IntelliWheat? He may be frustrating, but Henry's the smartest person I've ever met. Just don't tell him that. That's reasonable. Henry's pet project is tied to market perception. His beer, annoyingly, is really good. But if we could make a bad batch, terrible, really, his margins are tight enough he might be forced to throw in the towel. Henry bores everyone to tears about how crafting beer is so much more art than science. It's delicate. Surely it wouldn't be too hard to mess it up, right? What? Oh god, no. I just want it to taste bad. Like stale, or like it's whatever makes beer taste worse. The next big batch of beer is almost done brewing in our factory. You just need to find a way to break in without getting caught by the guard and tamper with it somehow. Then just wait a day or so and see how the batch goes over at the Stone Root Inn. Do that, and I'll pay you handsomely. That's the last I'll talk of this.